Hi, welcome to Keep Talkin. My name is Kristin Marand, and joining me today, we're very happy to have Big Dave McLean. Dave, thank you so much for being here with us today.
My pleasure.
A lot of people call you like a blues legend, a blues icon. Is that a bit weird?
I've been called a lot of things.
Some nicer, some worse, I'm sure.
Those ones don't hurt my feelings as bad.
Excellent. So we're here to talk about a little bit about your 7th album, Faded But Not Gone. It's up for Juno this year for Blues Album of the Year. Now, here's what I know about it so far. You recorded it in Nashville, right?
Yes.
It's got a mix of covers and originals.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's also been called Deeply Personal. Can you tell me a little bit more about that album?
It's called Deeply Personal. Well, I guess that's because I just a couple of weeks earlier lost a brother, and a few months earlier than that lost a mother.
Sorry to hear that.
So it made it a little more personal. And a couple of the songs that I had written for the album were more geared to, or inspired by the loss.
Okay.
You know, and they're kind of songs that people that experience loss can relate to. You know.
Well, and everybody has at some point in their
pretty
lives,
much,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. But I'm very proud of this album. It was my first time I'd ever had the opportunity to go to Nashville. But my good friend Steve Dawson, who is a brilliant player and songwriter and multi-award winner for producing and for performing, he owned the studio in Nashville. He phoned me up and said, "Come on down, let's do an album."
We've got some free time, just come fill the slot.
Well, I belong to Stony Plain Records out of Edmonton, also was Holger Peterson. And we phoned up Holger and said, you know, if you don't have a project for Dave right now, maybe we could grab him and he'd come down and do this. So I talked to Holger because we've been friends for a long time, and he said there'd be a good opportunity for me. And I thought, yeah, you know, I'd never been to Nashville, and Steve's a good friend, and I trust both of these people very much, you know. And it was an amazing experience for me.
Well, and I'm sure that comes through in the music.
And well, it does, and I'm playing with some of the finest musicians. You know, we really stacked the deck. We had Colin James and Colin Linden, and the McCrary sisters used to sing with Bob Dylan at one point, and had Kevin McHenry, who's the piano player for the Stray Cats, and so I mean these were all like really top-notch, world-class musicians. So I'm very proud of the album. I figure if you know, if it weren't for the fact that it was my album, I might have not been on it. Yeah, but no, they all rallied around the pole for me and did an amazing job, and I'm very proud of this album.
Well, that's fantastic.
And we just recorded another one about a month ago.
You're not wasting any time.
Yeah, you bet. Wow.
Well, we'll talk about the new one in just a second, but I want to talk about a project that you worked on a little while back, a documentary called Ain't About the Money.
Yes.
How did you get involved with that? How did that come to be?
Well, actually, that came about through my good friend Scott Nolan had done a documentary about going down to Folsom Prison to deal with some family business and also do some jamming with the music program at the prison. And he was knocked out. I saw the film, and it's amazing. You know, these guys, they're in for life. And so, I mean, every day they practice playing their guitars, and, you know, either that or twiddle your thumbs in your cell. So some of them have gotten really, really good
Idle
over
hands,
the
as they
years.
say.
You know, it's like you spend 15 years in one room, and it's like you're going to learn how to do something.
Yeah.
But anyway, Scott had done this film with Charles Conowall, who's a brilliant documentary filmmaker here in Winnipeg, and he's made many classic films. But he had done this with Scott, and then they approached me to do a film because I was going down to Mississippi to perform with my good friend Watermelon Slim, who I just played on his album about 2 hours ago here in Winnipeg.
That's very cool.
Yeah. He's making an album here right now, and I got to go play some harmonica on it. But the film is basically, it's loosely about my career and just life in the blues business, because I've been at it for, some 40 odd years, and I've experienced a lot of different things over the years, and we touch on some of that. We touch on a few of the places where I play, not many, but mostly it's about this trip I did down to Mississippi to play in Clarksdale, which is the home of the blues. That's where it all started.
Like Last Train
That's
to
ground
Clarks?
zero. It's Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Okay.
That's where the blues began in America, and so I was thrilled to go there. It would be like going to meet the Queen or the Pope or something. This is where Muddy Waters grew up, and John Lee Hooker and Son House, and the list goes on and on and on and on, of blues heroes. And for me, I've done my homework over the years, and I know all the names, and I know everywhere they all came from.
Where they played.
And they're all in that area right there. And then, of course, Robert Johnson, who was the king of the Mississippi blues, and following some of his legend through the crossroads, and I went to his gravesite and actually saw the gravesite of a few of my heroes. And
Wow.
that was the only time my wife could come down. I took her on a gravesite tour.
Oh, you big romantic, you.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like, but honey, look at that. That's him.
And so where can people see the documentary if they're curious to see it?
Well, it was on. It was made for MTS Stories for Home.
Right, so on demand.
So it was on demand, and now it's like you can buy copies from me. I've been selling copies. After 6 months, that it becomes our property to sell. But for the first 6 months, it was MTS was putting it up on their site. But yeah, we won an award in San Francisco for a documentary, and we've been up for several others in Montreal and a few other places. You'd have to ask Charles about that.
Okay.
I don't. But yeah, I'm very proud of that too. It was kind of nice to document some of it, although it doesn't. There's so much of my career it doesn't touch on.
Right.
But you only have, there
so
was
much
a
time.
2-hour film,
Yeah.
And we probably had 180 hours
Goodness.
chopped down to 2 hours.
Well, and it's nice to
So
dip
we got
your toe.
10 films on the cutting room floor.
It's nice to dip your toe creatively into different mediums from time to time too.
Absolutely,
Right? No.
yeah. Anyway, those are a couple of projects I'm very proud of being involved in. And
Well, and the next thing you're going to be proud of,
Maybe it
hopefully
goes on.
winning another Juno, perhaps?
well,
Now you
that'd be nice. I mean, there's some really amazing performers up for that award. My wife and I are going to go and clap for whoever wins it.
And try not to look too disappointed if it happens to go
not at
another
all,
way.
Not at all. I mean, it really is cool to be nominated, and if we win, well, that's nice. But I know too many of the players across this country, people that don't even get nominated, that are phenomenal players. So it's like, I take it with a grain of salt. It's like you win the best of something. Well, it's nice of you to say that, but it's not necessarily where it is. But you get the most votes, you get nominated, and I just won the Acoustic Act of the Year at the Maple Blues Awards just a few months ago, and I think that ticked off a few people. Say, hey, I didn't vote for me.
Well, what can you do, right? Now, you're no stranger to award shows. You've won the Maple Award that you mentioned. You've won a Western Canadian Music Award.
I've
a
won
Juno before.
I've won a few.
What does your mantle look like? Or do you just throw them in a closet? When
No, I have there's a little shelf underneath the TV. It's got some dust on it. It's been a while since I've won anything, so that's.
Well, hopefully this is your year.
Well, we'll see. I mean, that's cool.
I want to talk a little bit about the Junos because I feel like not a lot of Canadians get a chance to really experience it. And it really is the coolest week-long party that you could hope to attend as a music lover.
I guess so. Yeah, I've only attended one in the past. Actually, I was nominated and didn't win, but then I won one in '95 or something, but I didn't attend. So this will be the third time I've been nominated, and hopefully the second time I win. But
Third time's a charm and all that.
yeah, you never know.
Okay, well, we're keeping our fingers crossed for you.
Yeah, you bet.
So the Junos are in Calgary this year.
Yes.
When you're in Calgary, where do you go to hear the blues, or where do you go to play the blues?
Well, there's a few places. I like playing at Mikey's Juke Joint, which is a smaller little venue. It's almost like the size of Times Change here in Winnipeg. But it's a magical little room. I love it there. And Mike Clark, the guy who owns the club, is a brilliant blues saxophonist. And I've played in several bands with him at festivals where we put the band together, and I'll be in there playing maybe harmonica or a little bit of guitar. And they'll have Tim Williams on guitar, and we used to have Ron Cassette, who recently passed, on keyboards, and Mike Clark on saxophone. And it's always been a pleasure to play with him. And then there's the Blues Can, where I'm playing on the 1st, which is the Friday. I think the award show for us is on the Saturday. Friday I'm playing at the Blues Can as part of Juno Fest, along with Tim Williams, and I'm bringing along pardon me, a bass player from Winnipeg, Bernie Thiessen, playing upright bass, and we have Tim Williams and Kevin Belsner from Calgary joining us, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's always
like a
great
solid
to
jam.
meet up with old friends and have a really great little place to go play.
And the Junos are kind of neat like that, and I feel like they bring people together that might not otherwise get a chance to meet. Have you ever met anybody, through touring and stuff like that, that you wouldn't have had a chance to meet otherwise?
Oh, of course, sure. At festivals and touring, you meet people all the time that are out there, road warriors, slugging it out in the ditch,
Yep.
out on the battlefield. You bet.
Now, you mentioned festivals. That kind of brings me to the next question. What's in store for you this summer? Do you do festivals in the summer?
I do. I will be playing at the Barbecue Blues Festival this year.
Excellent. Do you have any details on that to share with us?
I think it's on August 19th and 20th.
Okay, same location
Other
as
than
last
that,
year?
I can't tell you that.
Okay.
I don't know. I talked to the promoter and I said, "Am I playing?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, I'll talk to you later. When we get a little closer, we'll get on the phone and figure it all out."
Just the facts.
Yeah, just the facts, ma'am. But and then there's a couple of others that are still pending. I don't want to say anything until I hear back from them. Make sure that that's still happening. But I've got 2 or 3 lined up, and I have a fairly good summer lined up, I think.
Well, and you said you just finished with a new album, so you're going to be taking that one out on the road?
Well, no, that won't be out until the fall, probably.
Okay.
We got a lot of things to do with it still. It's just being mixed right now. But I'm very proud of this one coming up. Yeah, I think it's just as good as Faded But Not Gone, and possibly even a rung higher.
That's very nice. You got to keep aiming for the next echelon, right?
Well, that's always been my motto: is reach for the stars, but look out for the stairs.
I like that a lot.
Well, it used to be upward and onward into the fog. It's time to move on.
Now, you mentioned that you've been doing this for a really long time. If you had a personal secret to your longevity, what do you think it might be?
Stay focused. Do what you love to do. I mean, it can be hard. It can be very hard being in the music business. But I mean, it's what I love to do. And I couldn't see myself doing anything else. I don't think Safeway would hire me to stack cans on a shelf over some 16-year-old kid who can actually bend over. So yeah, no, I just if your heart's in it and you stay focused, just go for it. Absolutely.
What's one more thing that you'd like to accomplish musically? I mean, you seem like a very busy guy. You keep recording stuff. You're appearing as a player on other people's albums.
You always strive to do better. You always, you can't be totally happy with everything you do. You have to, you got to learn some more. And I mean, I look at some of my friends that, some of the kids that I kind of got started in the business that have shot past me, it's like, shoot, that are amazing talents. And I'm going like, wow, I got to tap into some of the style that they're going through. I mean, you always have to try and do something a little more and a little better. And as long, you'll keep on going if you have a project and to keep on going for.
Absolutely. Keeps you young, right?
Yeah. My kids want to put me in a home, but
Ain't having none of that.
that's okay. So I don't want to miss Matlock, so go ahead.
Well, Dave, those are all the questions I had for you today.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I really had a
thank
great
you.
time chatting
Oh,
with
it's
you
been
today.
a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
If you have a creative project you'd like to share, we'd love to help you share it. Send us an email at keeptalkintv@gmail.com and like us on Facebook. Next time on Keep Talking, Aaron Stock.